India ranks at the top with the highest number of road fatalities with about 10% share in the world. And according to WHO, at least 1 out of 10 people killed on the roads across the world are from India. And it's evident from the kind of cars that people buy in India. Here's a list of best-selling cars in 2023, and a staggering 12 out of 15 of them have scores below 2 stars.
Let's consider the Maruti Suzuki Swift, a car that is sold both in Europe and India. In Europe, it gets a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. Global NCAP, on the other hand, has given the Swift a 0-star rating, going on to call its body structure unstable. So what does the Euro spec Swift have that the Indian Swift doesn't? Firstly, a stronger body structure. Now, car makers could compromise on the body structure by using a thinner, weaker gauge of steel for the car's construction. A prime example of this is the Swift. While the Indian Swift's body structure is said to be unstable, the European spec Swift never had this problem. In a nutshell, if a car's body structure in itself is unstable, even having gearbags won't save you in a crash. However, it isn't only Maruti Suzuki that can be blamed. Other car manufacturers such as Hyundai also sell cars which, according to global NCAP, are subpar and compared to the same cars that sell globally. Take for instance the Hyundai i10. Global NCAP reads the made in India i10 as unstable. The same car, which is made in other countries, are more safe with a 4-star safety rating. Maruti cars are often ridiculed for being tin cans, and they're done so for the right reasons. The company has no ethics when it comes to safety. You can judge this from the fact that they still kept a car like Omni in production. To match stricter emissions norms and to improve their mileage further, Suzuki decided to reduce the weight of their cars. This is seen in cars like the Baleno. It weighs in at only 862 kgs, whereas the Tiago, which is much smaller in size, weighs in at 1010 kgs. I know weight can never tell you about the safety of a car, but these are not high-end exotics in which you use carbon fiber to reduce the weight. You do it by reducing the quality. Suzuki admitted to using plastic instead of steel to make their fuel tanks in order to save weight. They also started using more and more plastic in the engine bay instead of steel like other brands. In a counter 2012 interview with their supply chain partner, steel with less thickness is being used to make their cars to increase fuel economy. And the fact that the remaining body panels are made of really poor quality steel is obviously nothing new to us. It's been a running joke in the enthusiast community about their build quality. The first gen Swift weighed in at 1000 kgs, and the third gen Swift, despite being longer, wider and taller than the first gen, weighed only 870 kgs. Now the other manufacturers like Tata managed to meet emissions regulations while still weighing considerably more than Suzuki cars by incorporating more efficient 3-cylinder engines. Suzuki chose the less safety considered route instead of spending more money on R&D and making a more efficient car. In fact, not just Tata, companies like VW are also using 3-cylinder engines to meet regulations. Cars like the Virtus and Taygun managed to score a perfect 5-star rating thanks to their strategy of not compromising on build quality. So now I come to the main question: why do people still continue to buy cars like these? Maruti produces unsafe and poorly built cars because the market wants it. It's as simple as that. For many Indians, owning a car is still a dream. Look at the number of two-wheelers carrying 4 to 5 people. It's a common sight in small-town India. Purchasing and maintaining a car demands huge financial investment, especially in the ever-growing oil prices. Therefore, the budget-conscious majority of Indian buyers want a car that is cheap to buy and fuel-efficient with decent maintenance costs. This is where Maruti shines. They have the largest dealer network in India, and with a strong road presence, their cars are reliable, and even if they break down, repairs are reasonable and parts are available. Buying a Maruti in India is a safe option financially. It just makes sense in the uninformed buyer or small-town India. In the sub-10 lakh segment, the profit margins are wafer thin as compared to higher segments. In order to keep the prices in control, cost-cutting measures are put in place because no car manufacturer would have wanted to cut down on their profits. That's what Maruti does. Thinner metal sheets means less metal, means less costs. It also makes the car more fuel efficient, and because it's lightweight, it also translates to better performance from smaller engines. This allows Maruti to capture 2 segments, namely the budget-conscious buyer and the buyer who wants decent performance on a budget. The only downside, a pretty big one that is safety. And that's why a lot of their cars end up like this. For those who want safe cars, which can protect them from accidents happening at high speeds, India has got all the medium to high safety cars from VW, Tata, BMW, Volvo, etc. No one forces them to buy any unsafe car. In fact, they're spoiled with variety and choice. The most important point is, safety does not only come by feature, it also comes with what people practice. Recently, Mr. Cyrus Mistry passed away in a car accident involving a Mercedes. Wasn't it a globally acclaimed safe car? 2 of those 4 passengers in the car died on the spot despite having all safety features. In India, 7 out of 10 passengers while riding in the rear of the vehicle never wear a seatbelt, a survey was found.
This clearly shows how weak legal enforcement in small towns and cities is, along with the lack of awareness that makes people go casual about their own safety. One of the reasons for manufacturers selling unsafe cars is the less stringent safety norms in India. Currently, manufacturers have to do just the basic crash test of cars in compliance with the government norms. The crash test is a quite basic one when compared to the global NCAP norms. So manufacturers just pass these tests and sell their cars in India. Thankfully, the government is working on bringing the test agency known as Bharat NCAP soon.